This video is brought to you by Soundcore's new Liberty 2 Pro headphones. Use my code FLASHYL2P for 20% off your order until January 17th. Alright, I'll admit it. I don't understand Harry Styles. To put this into context, I've been researching Harry Styles for a week now, making it my sole priority to know as much as I possibly could. And yet, there's still so much about him I don't really understand. From afar, many could make the assumptions that he would be no different from the other 100 of male pop stars in the industry today. A one-dimensional character that allows success, money, and greed get to his head. Becoming so unrelatable to his audience, his music ultimately becomes superficial. And to be honest with you, I thought I would see some form of that in Harry. But it turns out that stereotype cannot be applied. I found that Harry's a refreshingly different artist than the plethora of male musicians. I think what makes him so particularly intriguing is that he's filled with this natural sense of mystique that many artists don't have today. With Harry, no matter how many interviews I watched, although I was constantly entertained, I was overwhelmed with this feeling to want to know more. I wanted to know what made up that charismatic and charming personality, even after coming out of a billion-dollar boy band. Going into the mind of Harry Styles isn't going to be easy, and there aren't going to be black and white answers. There's a lot of complexity and depth within him as a person and as a musician. But it's exciting to go for the challenge, so without further ado, this is the mysterious mind of Harry Styles. Harry's childhood was one to which he gleefully admits was good. He was born in Worcestershire, England, but was raised in Cheshire. His parents divorced at the age of 7. Despite this, he remembers his early years as being filled with nothing but love. Harry's taste in music was defined at a young age by a variety of artists. His father introduced him to rock legends Queen and Pink Floyd, while his mother listened to the pop music of Norah Jones and Savage Garden. At 15, Harry became the lead singer of a school band called White Eskimo. They didn't last long as his mother decided to sign him up on the singing competition show X Factor. His rendition of Stevie Wonder's Isn't She Lovely got him past through the audition rounds, but he would later be eliminated in the boot camp stages of the competition. Too Good to Lose, head executive of the show Simon Cowell, had the idea to pair him with 4 other boys in what we would now know today as One Direction. Harry, Zayn, Niall, Liam, and Louis carried on through the competition, eventually losing to 3rd place. Sure, they didn't win the grand prize, but Simon Cowell was quick to catch on to the innate popularity of the group and offered them a record deal with Sony for an estimated $2 million. Before even releasing an official single, they had the most pre-orders for a song Sony had ever seen, an accomplishment the Beatles didn't even have. The success of the group was only magnified after their first single, What Makes You Beautiful, broke into the US market. They became a new set of teen heartthrobs for young girls everywhere. The world a year ago just recovering from Justin Bieber's ubiquitous Baby blow-up. The success of One Direction was only redefined every album in, their audience constantly growing with bigger arena tours. They had books, documentaries, lunchboxes, fragrances. They were a sensation of unmatched proportions, and while all that success might have been amazing, at some point it all stopped. The first member Zayn deciding to leave in 2015, until the group ultimately decided to go on hiatus in 2016. While in the group, the media was quick to paint Harry as some sort of womanizer, his string of relationships with high-profile models becoming the forefront of daytime gossip. But none painted him to be more of the bad guy than his infamous 1-month relationship with Taylor Swift, the breakup reportedly being the fuel for many hit tracks on Swift's catalog. It would be easy to expect that Harry would have hated every minute of being in the group, and he has admitted to being annoyed by the tabloids, romanticizing every relationship he was in. But he didn't hate the group. He's actually stated that he loved it. It was the time of his life and he got opportunities to see things that many people can only dream of. After the group disbanded, he wanted to get back to doing the thing he hadn't been able to do in years. Absolutely nothing. He took this time to redefine the term success. He had already had the accolades and money. He wanted the next project to be meaningful and a chance to reconnect with his audience. he traveled to Jamaica to record his first solo self-titled album, a combination of sorrow, psychedelic, and rock and roll songs. The album received critical acclaim, many taking note to his vocal performance. Following his first album, Harry's fashion choices have become somewhat of a hot topic. Harry's style doesn't let male or female labels define his clothing. He'll be quick to disregard the tag, instead wearing clothes to which he defines as cool. His androgynous look has made him somewhat of a rising icon, even scoring number 5 in British Vogue's Fittest Boys. With his flamboyant style have come questions about his sexuality. In multiple interviews, he's been asked the intrusive question on whether he's bisexual or not. He's recently elaborated in an interview for The Guardian, stating, "Am I sprinkling in nuggets of sexual ambiguity to try and be more interesting? No. As for the rest, in terms of how I want to dress and what the album sleeve's going to be, I tend to make decisions in terms of collaborators I want to work with. I want things to look a certain way, not because it makes me look gay or it makes me look straight or it makes me look bisexual, but because I think it looks cool. And more than that, I don't know. I just think sexuality is something that's fun. Honestly, I can't say I've given it more thought than that." He has recently released his second studio album titled Fine Line. There are hints of soul and psychedelia, with his raw and charismatic personality shining through the record. It was personally one of my favorite albums to come out of 2019, and it's also showing up to be a commercial success, becoming the first #1 album on the Billboard 200 for this decade. If you would have asked me what makes Harry Styles so special a month ago, I probably couldn't understand the hype. I would have assumed the portrait the media painted of a soulless heartthrob were true. But after doing this video, instead of finding the typical Justin Timberlake wannabe, I found a true artist, full of personality and charm. Someone that doesn't let the hype and celebrity lifestyle get in the way of relating to his audience. Harry's icon status isn't being built by the fact that he was in one direction. It's being built because he's willing to be conscious with his platform and use it for good. He's responsible with his audience and is an outspoken activist for so many social movements. And someone who uses their platform for good deserves all the success coming their way. If you haven't heard Harry's albums, I can tell you the best way to listen to them are on the Liberty 2 Pro headphones. They've been endorsed by 10 award-winning Grammy engineers, and Forbes even named them the true wireless champions. These headphones have got Hear ID technology, which means when you open the Soundcore app, the app will automatically adjust key audio elements to give you the best listening experience. These headphones have also got great battery life that goes up to 32 hours of playtime, and even better, they've got wireless charging. With 7 ear tips and 3 ear ring sizes, you'll be bound to find the perfect pair of headphones for you. Remember to use my code FLASHYL2P for 20% off your order until January 17th. The link will be in the description.